love this part. Okay. I am Akwi Nji, and I'm an interdisciplinary artist based in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I started off as a writer, first for the page, and then I realized pretty quickly I wasn't meant to be a writer for the page, and so I transitioned into writing material for the stage, and I performed on stage for 15 years or so, and then transitioned into producing live events that incorporated collaborations between videographers and dancers and visual artists and musicians, and then most recently I expanded my art practice to include visual art. So I actually left my salaried job in February 2020 and had planned on traveling the country, performing and speaking to obviously live audiences, and then when pandemic hit and that wasn't an option anymore, March, and we were all confined to our homes, I really had to rethink what my plans were. But then when George Floyd was murdered, that just fundamentally changed the way I felt about my relationship with my own words. I just think about how furious I was for a variety of reasons. And I felt like over a short amount of time, all of that emotion was sort of just literally bubbling up through my body, like you could imagine a boiling pot. And my older daughter at one point just randomly was like, "Mom, what are you going to do with this energy?" And literally I was standing at the island, and I remember just looking down, my hands were pressed against the island, and I remember looking down and I remember thinking, I'm not just a writer, I'm an artist. And if I don't feel like I can process these emotions through my head and my heart, I can process them through my hands. I know that what we have here in Iowa is envied by some artists in other parts of the country. I know that the community that artists have and then the support we get from our state, I know that that's not the case in every part of the country. I know that. The piece there behind you is titled Consider Audience. And so in 2020, when I had chosen to expand my identity as an artist into visual art, I was really thinking back on all of the writing that I'd done over the years and how much of that writing, especially even for the stage, was done in the context of me being warned to consider audience. That has been the phrase that has been consistent through my artistic life in Iowa. You gotta consider audience. And by consider audience, that means you have to remember they're white, you have to remember that we can't offend them too much because we need their money. And so when I was thinking through my practice as an artist moving forward from 2020 and thought back to the writing I'd done, I made the decision to delete most of my digital files of my literature, and also destroy most of my hard copy files. And so one of the ways that I destroyed the hard copy files was to turn it into visual art. Fear and imposter syndrome, that all exists. And it's a daily exercise to wake up every morning and turn down that volume on all of that doubt and turn up the volume on, I'm gonna do this today. I always feel like I'm teaching myself how to ride a bike. When we were kids, we didn't think anything, we didn't think twice about practicing on the sidewalk, about what that looked like, how clumsy we looked to people that were driving by. But think about what that would be like if we all tried to teach ourselves how to ride a bike in the basements of our houses so that nobody would see us, right? Like, how productive is that gonna be? How effective is that gonna be? And so I'm always just reminding myself, I'm just practicing publicly. I don't care what it looks like, because I know that if I keep trying, if I keep going, I'm just gonna be sailing down that sidewalk. And I'm so excited, like how everything has turned out. Sorry.